we've talked about the Brady-Michael Jordan comparison because we knew the media would probably pick up on it. If Brady won his sixth, then this would be the story. So we talked about the story being the story, and then all of a sudden, here we are. It got picked up, and everybody started talking about Brady and Jordan.
Are you guys all claiming credit for hatching this?
Yes.
I mean, after the Super Bowl last year, I said that Michael Jordan is the Tom Brady of basketball. I mean, I did that. I was way ahead of the curve. Way ahead of the curve.
So you're taking credit.
Wait, yeah. I mean, that's my beat. You can't do this to me.
We did it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we did
it.
You
got a bigger bugle than me.
Yes, exactly.
You got a bigger bugle, so you're going to say, but I had it first, Dan.
Okay. Okay, great. I mean, what do you want?
A little bit of respect.
Okay, so when I say to Brady tonight, when I go, hey, you know, Tom Curran brought this up after you won last year's Super Bowl.
Love Tom.
Yeah.
Love Tom.
So if I bring that up to Brady and then I say, hey, what do you think of these comparisons with you and Michael Jordan?
I think that he will be exactly what you said, self-deprecating. One interesting thing was after that AFC Championship game, when someone asked him about his hand and whether or not it affected him, he's so aware of what comes out of his mouth and how it can be interpreted. Because remember how he said the thing about, he started to say that if it affected me, but then he said, well, we just won the game. I don't want to sound like Tiger Woods saying that I just won with my C game. Yeah. So he backed off it. So I'm sure he'll be overly self-deprecating. But when you think about it, there's two different ways to look at it. You can say that Brady, people will say, well, Brady doesn't play defense. Well, Brady, if he did play defense, he might have 8 Super Bowl wins because in 2 of the other ones, or 7 Super, whatever the hell it is, he gave him a lead in 2007 and he left the defense with a lead in 2011. In both instances, they burped it up. So if he didn't have, he's done all he could to win every Super Bowl he's been in.
Well, we're not comparing them as far as athleticism. It's just accomplishments. Because if it's athleticism, then Tom's going to say, no, I don't deserve to be mentioned in any conversation with Mike.
He will keep himself behind Montana at this point, I would think. Because I just don't think that he takes that 30,000-foot view of himself. He really is still, you know, in the nuts and bolts and in the mix of it.
But he's a competitor.
Yeah.
So there's a part of him that would love to be or compete to be in that conversation. But then there's the other part of him, sort of the self-effacing public image that's never going to acknowledge that.
Right. And I think that's what's interesting about this whole Tom versus time thing, which I actually find entertaining. You know, a lot of people thought it was just going to be an infomercial for, you know, the business enterprise. But, you know, when you watch that, the main reason he did it was he wanted to start to create a record. The 2016 season with Deflategate, with his mother's illness, with the comeback against Atlanta, Gotham Chopra had approached him for years about doing it. And then he said, you know what, let's start to get this stuff down. And I think that when you talk about the historical importance, that he has to be cognizant of it, I think this stuff right now is kind of a nod to that.
But don't you think that he's his own experiment? He's so showing everybody that if I can do it, you can do it. And to see him succeed at a high level, maybe the MVP, you're in your 40s, he's practicing what he preaches. And so the longer he plays, the more he reinforces what this whole diet, this whole, you know, what transformation is.
But here's the thing. He's not even an outlier. He is not an outlier playing at 40. I mean, Jaromir Jagr was released yesterday. Yeah. He's 40-5.
But he didn't win the MVP.
He didn't win the MVP, but he's 45. Manu Ginobili, Vince Carter, Drew Brees is 39. Brett Favre had an MVP-type season at the age of 40. What Brady is doing is not unprecedented in terms of being there.
Yeah, but at that position, it's the toughest position in all of sports. And to play at that level, to be an MVP, nobody's ever been an MVP.
Do you know that Jerry Rice had 1,200 yards at the age of 40? 92 catches, 1,200 yards. That's a harder position.
But he's a better athlete than Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry was a great athlete. We're not talking about, we're talking about the intelligence to stay healthy, to play games. He's only missed games, you know, when he had the knee surgery and then he got suspended. But at that position, with how many different makeshift lineups that he's had and skill position players and everything that's gone on in his career, it's pretty remarkable to play this high a level.
It is remarkable to be at this level, to still be somewhat improving too in different ways. Now, tell me this then. do you, and you kind of mentioned it, where did you come down on this argument anyway? Did you just broach this thing and then never talk about it?
No, we did.
Who won? Who's better?
I don't know if you can say who's better.
That's great. Dan.
I do think it's. I think
it's 1 degree out. I come all the way down here. I ask one simple question.
Michael was in 6, won 6, took 2 years off, would probably have 8, and then it wouldn't be a conversation. So I'll say Jordan is the best team athlete of the modern era. You can now leave, Tom. So you're go out in the 1 degree temperature.
He is. So you're downgrading Brady for having been in 2 more.
Yeah. And losing.
So going and losing.
And losing.
So the Joe Montana perfect in the Super Bowl is trumps Brady then?
No, it does not. No.
I don't know. It just seems like
I'm going to give him in his world, in the quarterbacking world, to make this many appearances. It's not just the math that we're talking about here, Tom. I'm saying Jordan was so great, he gave the Rockets a couple of titles. Like, that's how nice he was. You know, Brady didn't go to the Giants, hey, here's a couple of titles. That's what Mike did.
No,
Mike was so
defense
great.
Did.
Mike was so great. Well, if Tom scored more points, then you don't need defense.
He did all he could.
He's Tom Curran, NBC Sports Boston, and a good friend of Tom Brady's. No, I'm just giving you. It's just a reintroduction. I don't know if you know what that's like. Like, this is big time radio here.
Oh, it is.
So if somebody tunes in, they're going, "Who's the guy with the accent?" And then I say Tom Curran.
Who's the Tom Brady nut hugger?
Yeah. Can we font him? Can we put under his name Tommy Curran, Brady nut hugger?
Tommy.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.